Mr. Speaker, it is said, Mr. Speaker, it's an
hold on, Mr. Williams. Let us confine this to specifics. You can ask for clarification on the questions answered. Hold on, man. You hold on.
Mr. Speaker, all my questions are pertinent.
No.
They have kept to the matter that is before us.
Yeah, but...
And, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that we have to keep within the lines of what is parliamentary.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, it has been said both by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Energy that 2016 is sacrosanct. Just so that the public understands, does 2016 mean that you will have a signed license ready for implementation? Does it mean that by 2016 the plant will be built and ready to generate? Or by 2016, does it mean that the Jamaican consumers, residential, commercial, industrial, all of us, those who have light that they can't pay, everybody who wants electricity, will they be seeing the reduction in their electricity rate? What does 2016 mean?
Mr. Speaker, our greatest interest right now is to ensure we can get the generating capacity to be in place so that our people will not have to string up and steal electricity, but will be able to pay their electricity bill because the cost will go down. And we are working very hard to achieve that. And we would love to see if we can achieve that for 2016. Thank you.
So you are saying, Prime Minister, that you can't tell the Jamaican people what 2016 means? Well, okay, we understand. We understand. Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, the Minister is, in his sectoral presentation in other documents, explain why it was that he signed an amended license. No, I'm asking the Prime Minister. You are so protective of your Prime Minister. She's a Prime Minister. She cannot answer questions. Yes, so, Mr. Speaker, could the Prime Minister tell the country what is the status of the bid ban since an amended license was signed?
Mr. Speaker, I think in fairness, the leader of the opposition needs to table the other questions, that particular question that he just asked.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I have not had a chance to, you have just tabled, and thank you for the TOR, the full TOR, and I will go through them. But you may very well have the answers in the TOR, but allow me to ask just in case. Will the Energy Monitoring Committee have a confidentiality agreement to sign? And what will be the nature of that confidentiality agreement, if it is so?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In terms of the commercial confidentiality, certainly that provision would be in place.
Well, thank you, Prime Minister. So you are saying that there will be a confidentiality agreement which will be limited, which will be a limited one. It is part of the terms of reference for them to report to the public as well, or solely to the cabinet? So I'm just curious.
No, the cabinet established the committee. They would report to the cabinet, and then we would inform the country.
Prime Minister, is the government minded to approach using, I would say, a sole source method now that the previous competitive process has failed?
There's no meeting yet of the enterprise team, so I would not be able to say that to you. When they begin their discussions, when they meet, then we will be able to see how.
Prime Minister, Minister of Energy, in his budget presentation, another very important here that we need to clarify, suggested by stating that procurement, that he should have a hand in procurement, meaning the minister should have a position in procurement. I suspect what we meant to say is that procurement should be taken from the OUR. So in your actual statement, you said that the minister thought of, but I do not remember this, so I'm explaining that. Is it now that the government is contemplating that? Is the government contemplating moving the procurement duty from the OUR to the ministry? No, different question.
That will be subject to cabinet discussions. The question you just asked.
Prime Minister, I wanted to go back to the issue of the bond. Just want to be clear on something. Not the bid bond this time, but the performance bond. It has been stated publicly that the EWI has in some way deposited, posted the required amount. Can the Prime Minister state, just for clarity so the nation understands, what is the current status of the license with EWI? Is there a bond posted? And what is the status of the bond? It's very important because it's not quite clear whether or not they actually posted or they just said they were posted.
If EWI had fulfilled what was required, then we would not have to revoke it. There would be no revocation.
So just to be clear, you were saying that EWI has not fulfilled its obligations. Right? Just for clarity,
If they had, there would be no need for revocation.
Well, possibly if you couldn't get it financed. But it is also important for us to note, has EWI indicated to the government that they will be taking legal action since they are the holders of a license?
No, we have got no such indication so far.
Are you expecting, are you preparing for any such legislation?
Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the government that I lead, we do not believe in speculation. I indicated that we do not believe in speculation. Certainly do not.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the establishment of the enterprise team that the government has just put in place, is it the understanding of the government that the enterprise team would fall under the jurisdiction of the OCG as well?
Mr. Speaker, we do have an OCG Act, and I'm sure that would not be in the Act.
Is the Prime Minister saying that the enterprise team will not fall under the jurisdiction of the OCG?
I said the OCG Act remains in place. I made it quite clear.
Mr. Speaker, just for clarity, the country has to understand this. It is curious that the Prime Minister didn't see it fit to name the OCG as one of the bodies that the enterprise team would consult with. And it would be wise. It would, I just said I didn't get to read it to you all. Yes, then all you have to do is say that. But Mr. Speaker, it would also be advisable. It would also be advisable that at least membership from the OCG be placed on the enterprise team.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, it is very unfair for the Leader of the Opposition to be asking questions that were addressed in the document that we gave him. And he said he got no opportunity to read it to you all. If he read it, he would not have asked the question. And I asked the Leader of the Opposition to refer to page 5 of the document.
Mr. Holmes, no, hold on, Mr. Holmes. If you want, Mr. Holmes, if you want the opportunity to read the document and later at the different date, ask questions, then it would make more sense than to stumble through this.
Mr. Speaker, the nature of how questions are asked is that when these voluminous documents are provided, we don't get to go through them.
No, I'm saying if you want an opportunity,
a perfectly legitimate question. But, Mr. Speaker,
no, I'm saying if you want the opportunity to ask at
so
another
I'm going
date.
to ask you for that opportunity. Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
then we can avoid this guessing and spelling.
I just want to establish, though, Mr. Speaker, that by virtue of the last time the authority of the OCG was questioned, which was taken to court for a judicial review, the opinion then was that it was the IOP, or whatever you call it then, was considered to be a public body and therefore fell under the jurisdiction for review of the OCG. I want that to be clearly understood, that now that you have established this body, that it will now fall under the jurisdiction of the OCG for review. I want that to be absolutely clear. Mr. Speaker, given that the terms of reference are just now provided in the complete form, I would want to have this question session suspended for us to take up at another time when I've had the chance to review the documents.
That is okay. Thank you, Mr. Wallace.